Ladies and gentlemen, I am back again with a new video, and today's topic will be on the topic that's like it's it is one of the most important topic based on the thinking. So, without wasting further time, let's deep dive into it. The actual topic will be revealed in the coming sentences. So, listen carefully. So, first of all, let's take a sip of water. It's very important. So, let's try it. Let me begin with a small moment that many of us has experienced. A child looks up at the sky and asks, "Where does the sky end?" Another smile and say, "It doesn't end." The child paused and asked, "If it doesn't end, then what is after it?" At that moment, something powerful is happening. The child is not just looking at clouds, the child is trying to understand infinity. The child is moving beyond what the eyes can see. That is abstract thinking. It is ability to think about ideas that we can touch, cannot hold, cannot measure with ruler, but can still understand deeply. It is thinking about concepts like freedom, justice, time, loyalty, success, identity, belief, and purpose. So, these things do not sit on table. They do not have color or weight. Yet, they shape our lives more than just many physical objects. Abstract thinking allows us to move from what is in front of me to what does this mean. So let's take a simple example. Imagine two students preparing for an exam. One student memorizes answers word by word. The other students try to understand the idea behind the lesson. The first student focused on information. The second student focused on the meaning. When the student changes slightly in the exam, when the question changes slightly in the exam, the first student feels confused. The second student adapts easily because understanding concepts create flexibility. That flexibility comes from abstract thinking. So, abstract thinking is not about being complicated. It's about seeing patterns and meanings behind events. When you say time is money, you are not talking about coins and clock. You are expressing a relationship between two ideas. When someone says life is a journey, nobody imagines buying a train ticket. We understand that life has stages, turns, delays, and destinations. That understanding is abstract thinking at work, in an action. So let's look at daily life. Suppose you are working in a small shop. One person sees customers coming and going and thinks only about selling products. So one person sees customers coming and going and thinks about only about selling products. Another person watches customer behaviors and start thinking, why do most customers come in the evening? Why do they choose one product over another? Why do they choose one product over another? What mood are they in? That person begins to understand patterns. So let's stop this speech, and I want to give you a bit more information about the pattern. So in our previous videos, like in the logical, in the strategic, in the system thinking, in all of this thinking, one thing is getting common, that is pattern. Everything is about finding the pattern. So think about it. So let's come back to our speech. So later, the understanding helps in expanding the businesses. Abstract thinking turns observation into insights. In schools, we learn mathematics. Numbers themselves are abstract. You cannot hold the number 5 in your hand. You can hold 5 apples, but the number 5 is an idea. The idea allows you to count, measure, build bridges, design software, and calculate distance to the moon or to the Mars. The world of engineering, finance, and technology stands on abstract ideas. So, consider technology. When engineers at Microsoft design software, they are not just arranging wires, they are working with logic, algorithms, and systems that exist as individual instructions. When scientists at NASA calculate a spacecraft path, they are thinking in models and equations that represents reality. Those models are abstract representation of the real world. So, abstract thinking allows you to build things that do not exist yet. Every building begins as a drawing. Every, every building begins as a drawing. Every invention begins as an idea. Before the first airplane flew, someone imagined human in the sky. Before the internet connected the world, someone imagined information traveling invisibly. So, if we only believe what we could see, progress will remain limited. Now, let's bring this closer to our personal life. Imagine a young person who says, I want to be successful. Success is an abstract concept. It looks different to different people. For one, success means financial freedom. For another, it means peace of mind. For another, it means social impact. It means a peace of mind. And for the another, it means social impact. Abstract thinking allows us to define what success means personally. Without this thinking, we might chase someone else's definition. So let me share a relative scenario. Two friends start working after graduation. One says, I want a high salary. The other says, I want skills that will grow in value. The first friend focused on the present number. The second person the second friend focused on the long term growth. 5 years later, the second friend has options because skills create opportunities. That long term vision comes from thinking beyond immediate facts. Abstract thinking also helps in relationships. When someone says respect matters, respect is invisible. It is felt. It is shown through tone, accents, and consistency. Understanding respects require reading between the lines. It requires interpreting behaviors, not just listening to words. In leadership, abstract thinking plays a major role. Leaders talk about vision. Vision is not something you can touch, it is a picture of a possible future. When leaders inspire people, they are communicating ideas that exist in imagination first and in reality later. So consider the idea of democracy. Democracy is not a physical object, It is a system of shared power and responsibility. Citizens believe in it, they protect it, they debate within it. That belief itself is abstract, yet it shapes governments and nations. So, furthermore, abstract thinking also allows us to see connection between different fields. A musician understands rhythms, a programmer understands patterns, a sports player understands timing. When someone combines rhythm, pattern, timing, creative solutions appear. When that three things, which is rhythm, pattern, and timing, combines, creative solutions appear. Many innovations happens when ideas from one area connects with the another. So in everyday life, we constantly use abstract thinking without noticing. When you save money for future, you are imagining a future situation. When you forgive someone, you are choosing long-term peace over short-term anger. When you are setting a goal, you are designing a directions before the path exists. So there is also an important balance. Abstract thinking works best when supported by reality. Ideas need grounding. Dreaming about building a company is powerful. Taking practical steps is equally important. Abstract thinking provides direction. Concrete action provides movement. So let's take an example from sports. A football coach doesn't only train players physically, the coach builds a strategy. Strategy is an abstract plan about space, timing, and coordination. Players visualize positions and movements before the match begins. That mental model gives physical action. In education, teachers who explain concepts through stories help students think abstractly. When teachers explain gravity using the story of a falling apple, students connect observation with principles. That connection strengthens understanding. So, abstract thinking also improves problem solving. When facing a conflict, one person focuses on the immediate argument, the another person asks, what is the deeper issue? Is it about trust? Is it about communication? Identifying the deeper theme helps solving the real problem. So let's talk about creativity. Creative thinking often depends on abstract thinking. When someone writes a poetry, they use metaphors. When someone designs a logo, they express a brand identity through shapes and color. When someone builds a startup, they imagine a gap in a market and design a solution. Many great leaders and innovators use abstract thinking to reshape industry. When entrepreneurs imagine a world where services are available through a phone, they transform how people live. When thinkers questions traditional systems and propose new models, society evolves. There is no any other way. Society will evolve. Abstract thinking also strengthens empathy. When you try to understand another people's feeling, you imagine their perspective. You place yourself in the situation. That imagination is abstract, yet it builds compassion. Let me share you another simple story. Don't get bored. It's a very interesting one. The young girl watches her grandmother plant a small seed in the garden. A young girl watches her grandmother planting a small seed in the garden. She asks, how can someone so small become a big tree? The grandmother replies, because idea because inside the seed is potential. Potential is not visible, it is abstract. Yet, the tree proves its existence. In the same way, each people carries potential that they may not be visible today. Abstract thinking allows us to see potential before results appear. In professional life, companies use abstract thinking when they create brand identity. A brand is not just a product, it represents trust, emotion, and reliability. So, those are abstract values. Understand this. Customers connect with meaning, not only material. So let's also address something important. Abstract thinking doesn't mean losing touch with reality. It doesn't mean living without only in imagination. It means using imagination to guide meaningful action. It requires clarity. It requires reflection. So you can strengthen abstract thinking by asking deeper questions. Instead of asking what happened, ask why did it happen? Instead of asking what do I want today, ask what kind of person do I want to become? This question opens space for reflection. Reading books, in thoughtful conversation, Reading books, engaging in thoughtful conversation, writing ideas, observing patterns in life, and exploring different perspectives all helps developing the skill. When you expose yourself to diverse ideas, your mind learns to connect and interpret. So, abstract thinking shapes innovation, leadership, education, relationships, and personal growth. It gives depth to decision. It adds meanings to action. Now, let's bring this to a simple conclusion that you can carry with you. Concrete thinking builds task. Abstract thinking builds direction. Concrete thinking answers how. Abstract thinking explores why. Concrete thinking manages today. Abstract thinking design tomorrow. The moral of the speech is clear. If you learn to think beyond what is visible, you expand what is possible. When you develop abstract thinking, you gain the ability to interpret meaning, connect ideas, imagine future, and guide your actions with purpose. The world changes because someone first imagined the change. Every movement begins as an idea. Every achievement begins as a thought. So the next time you look at the sky and wonder where it ends, allow your mind to explore. Inside that curiosity lies the power to grow, to create, and to lead. So that's it for today, guys. I really hope you understand what really the abstract thinking means. So the only thing you have to take away from the speech is don't ask what, ask why. Don't ask what will I do today. Ask why am I doing this? Why I have to do this? This is the real thing. So I think you will be taking the skill to make your life even better than today. Because tomorrow the another skill will be coming and you have to do this. It's all about you and it's all about me. So that's it for today, guys. I will be meeting you in the next one. Till then, I'm Master Bros. Bye.